What's up, True Heel Heat? True Heel Heat.
What's up?
True Heel Heat.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching True Heel Heat podcast.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Romeo's Twitter for Rated Raw Review number 72. You're next. Reviewing the June 16th, 2025 edition of Monday Night Raw as only we can. And to do that, I am joined by my good brother, the face and the ace of the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, and everyone's favorite president of your favorite wrestlers fan club, Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon. How are you doing today, sir?
Terrible.
Not a good night for your fan club, right?
Not a good night. That's understating it. The worst possible night ever. How about that?
Wow, that's a little extreme, don't you think?
Little. It's terrible.
I mean, hey, maybe Charlotte gets drafted to Monday Night Raw.
We're gonna need it.
Why are we gonna need it? Come
You're
on.
gonna need something for me to get on these reviews.
Oh, now this.
Dreadful. Liv Morgan's gone. I will be too.
Jesus Christ. Well, I'm thankful that you're here with us this week. We appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Either way, show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping a thumbs up on this video. Helped out the YouTube algorithms all so much. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, you can sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys and hear your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. If you're watching us on demand, you can comment down below and give us your thoughts, your match of the night, MVP, LVP, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle in the comments down below. But if you're with us live and you want to show your support in the best way possible, you can do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here. It goes a long way to help the channel grow and move forward. So we always appreciate the support. We got Zach in the chat who says Happy Taco Tuesday. We got
happy about today. There's nothing. Not even tacos can make today happy.
Hey, the Oklahoma City Thunder are one win away from winning an NBA championship.
But
thus, the real thing is SP3 will be right. So that's a great thing.
Halliburton, this calf injury, he's just trying to make it to SummerSlam. He does not want to get seriously hurt before SummerSlam.
You think that he's faking an injury to be ready for SummerSlam?
I don't think he's faking an injury. I think he's taking it easy. He doesn't want to get hurt worse and miss SummerSlam. That's why he barely shot. He didn't want to shoot the ball. He didn't want to get hurt more.
No, he's trying to conserve his calf. He's trying to conserve
for SummerSlam against Jalen Brunson.
He's trying to be careful. We got Sofa Kid who says A. We got hey. We got Volop in the chat who says nobody needs Charlotte Flair aside from her loved ones.
Today's not the day. Today is not the day to be testing me at all.
You think he's testing you?
Yes. I think, yeah. Nobody follow his lead. I'm not in the mood. I'm in a bad mood.
I've never seen you in this. You weren't even in this much of a bad mood when the Knicks lost.
Well, I was. You just didn't catch me right away. But yeah, I was.
Why were you? You expected the Knicks to win.
Yeah. They were the favorites. They blew it.
I mean, I don't.
They blew
how much?
one.
Yeah, how much were they the favorites after game one?
And then they lose game two. Jesus. Why are you bringing me back to time there? Now I'm even more mad than I already was. Bringing up all stuff.
Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, we need to talk about Monday Night Raw, the June 16th, 2025 edition of Monday Night Raw from Green Bay, Wisconsin. What did you think about the crowd last night in good old Green Bay?
They were a very WWE crowd. It was like the typical WWE crowd, you know. Everything you expect from a WWE crowd, they were.
It was very much like a new school WWE crowd, though. Like, yeah, they cheered for the big return on the show, but I saw some people that were like upset, like, oh, if it wasn't reported that Goldberg was coming back, he would have got a bigger pop. And I'm like, no, he wouldn't. That was a really very good reaction for Goldberg, and that's
got a Goldberg pop, yeah.
Yeah, he got a Goldberg pop. Like, I don't think it would have been thunderous. Like, I think that these new WWE crowds are here for the WWE stars of today more than they are for artifacts from the Attitude Era.
But definitely a large portion of the crowd knew Goldberg was coming, despite WWE never blatantly saying so.
Yeah. This crowd was much more tapped in, like for all the people that say, oh, the internet wrestling community isn't real or the internet wrestling community isn't in the crowd. They were definitely in the crowd in Green Bay.
So. For sure.
We open the show. You see Gunther showing up at the building wearing a big smile.
Yeah, I wish I could feel like that.
Holding the World Heavyweight Championship. Bayley shows up. Stephanie Vaquer shows up for the 4-way. You got Jey Uso who shows up for the King of the Ring first round matchup. And we see that Corey Graves is filling in for Pat McAfee alongside Michael Cole on commentary. Corey says that he couldn't be more excited to be on Monday Night Raw, so we won't be getting any weird tweets, some subliminal tweets anymore. I thought that Corey was once again following up from his performance at Worlds Collide. Thought he was very good on this show.
Yeah, he should have led the show. He should have done it all because Cole was bad.
I mean, Cole still got that Pat McAfee rubbing on him. Pat McAfee is so bad that he has downgraded the stats of Michael Cole. Like Michael Cole was batting in the high 90s, but he's like a 2K player when a new player comes on board and you have to switch positions and you go down playing a different position. That's what Michael Cole is next to Pat McAfee.
Cole has a bad moment later on, man. Oh man. We'll talk about
it. You could bring it up. I don't really. I try to tune out Michael Cole a lot of times, to be honest. But we open up the show with one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Liv Morgan.
Woo! It's all downhill from here.
And Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio of the Judgment Day. They enter holding their respective belts. Liv gets in the ring and she welcomes us to Monday Night Morgan. I wanted to hear some noise for the most gorgeous man in WWE, Whoa. Dominic Mysterio. She was greeted with a whole bunch of boos for that. Very, very deserved. Very deserved. But they didn't boo
a lot of
over,
words to describe Dirty Dom. Gorgeous is not one of them.
But you can kind of already feel like, and we felt this since like WrestleMania especially, but the crowd didn't boo over Dom's promo like they used to, and it felt like Dom was reacting to them like they were booing over his promo, and it was like, dude, they're not even booing you as much as they used to.
Yeah.
You can say
Dom's got to realize he's cooler than he thinks. Crowd's warming up to him.
Exactly. So Dom says that tonight wasn't about him and turned things back over to Morgan. Liv said Nikki Bella learned the hard way that this division was all about her. Now Nikki was sitting at home and Morgan mocked an Io Sky's comment saying that Bella paved the way for them. Morgan said that nobody paved the way for her. She was the record-breaking, historic, first time ever, 4-time tag team champion, which means that she's the greatest women's tag team champion ever. And now she demanded a rematch that she never got for the WWE Women's World Championship. Just as Morgan was about to call her out to the ring, the music of Io Sky hits to bring out the WWE Women's World Champion. Io gets on the mic and she tells Morgan to do everyone a favor and shut her mouth. She said that Morgan disrespected her and disrespected Nikki. Io was ready to fight her, but Morgan only wanted to do it for the title. Morgan accused Sky of being scared and invited her to just hand over the belt. Sky told Morgan she had to earn a shot, but Liv couldn't just steal it away like she stole Dirty Dom. Dom said that Sky should just give Morgan whatever she wanted, just like he did. Get sexual stuff. They again suggested that Io hand over the belt, so she did. She tosses it at Liv. She then delivers a big drop kick to Liv and then proceeds to kick her upside the head with a buzzsaw kick. As Dom is checking on Liv, he gets one as well, and Liv and Dom bail from the ring while Io stands tall in the center of the ring with the title. What did you think about this opening segment?
I get tired of like the formulaic, let's start the show with a promo every single week, but at least in this instance, it was, two people that don't usually do that for Monday Night Raw, so that was okay. The segment was fine, but Liv had the thing with Io. She's got the thing with Judgment Day, Raquel, Roxanne, the whole group. And the tag team match that she was probably going to have against the Bellas, all up in smoke now. Like, she was the centerpiece of this, like she's in 3 storylines. The women's division, like, they were cooking with Liv Morgan. They were about to cook. And then it's all gone. The fucking kitchen blows up later on. It's just depressing to look back on.
She's been the top heel of the Raw women's division for over a year now. And yeah, you're 100% right. Like, she was at the center of 3 major stories. She was going to have big matches at Evolution, with SummerSlam being in her hometown of New Jersey. She was going to have a big match there. She had the Io Sky Women's World Championship matchup. Would have went down maybe at Night of Champions on the Raw following Night of Champions, knowing how they book. So yeah, she all of these big matches are about to go up in smoke later on in the show.
Terrible. Triple H, he's got to be up at night. He's got to rewrite everything. Got to figure out a way to make things fit now. I don't know what you do now. It's not like you could plug someone else in and like, no.
Well, with the Bellas matchup, it's an easy fix. It's Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
No, it's not the same, but I think Roxanne is if you still want to get a match out of it, and it's not even about Liv, to be honest with that one. It's about the Bellas being reunited, having their first tag team matchup for the first time, going after the women's tag team championships. And I think that Roxanne filling in for Liv furthers the story of Roxanne basically trying to take the place of Liv. And I think that you can have an opportunity if Liv is able to come back early than expected, and maybe she's able to return by SummerSlam. You could do a big matchup of Liv versus Roxanne if you build it the right way over the next couple of months.
We can only hope and pray that Liv Morgan will receive good news. I will not be out that long.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it shortly when we get to that matchup there, because Liv was then backstage with Raquel, where she gave Raquel a pep talk, telling her to go win her match, and then they would take care of Sky and Kairi Sane. It was very difficult to hear, but thank God I have closed captioning on.
That wasn't the only segment either that was hard to hear.
Yeah. We get Stephanie Vaquer. She comes out to the ring to a big pop. During the ad break, you get Chad Gable cut a promo on Ivy Now's behalf during a break while taking a shot at the Green Bay Packers. And we return to the back for the matchup. Then you finally get Asuka making her big entrance, her big return to WWE with her own theme. This is one of the best theme songs in WWE.
Banger.
Romeo.
You know, I honestly forgot that they had changed their theme. That's how bad that other theme was, and I forgot it existed. And by the way, fun fact, this mask was made by the same guy that makes the Fiend mask and all that stuff.
Very nice. Very nice. She had the full face paint on and wore mostly black gear along with a knee brace. You can barely see the knee brace because of the all black gear as well. She gets some big welcome back chants. Asuka and Stephanie Vaquer had a very brief exchange early on that was interrupted by the heels. You get Raquel, who powerbombs Asuka into Vaquer and Nile, which led to a commercial break. 80 seconds into the matchup, there was ridiculous amounts of commercials.
Vintage WWE. They even snuck in an extra commercial during Liv's injury, I'm sure. They had no shame.
Liv's injury happened during the ad break.
Yeah.
Thank God I don't have ads. The crowd was quiet through the break until they returned, and Vaquer was going for the devil's kiss on Nile, but Raquel breaks it up and kicks her in the stomach after just one devil's kiss. But Vaquer managed to was about to do it to her in the ring, but Raquel used her strength to lift her up into an electric chair. But Vaquer held on when they went to the outside and then did the devil's kicks on the apron. Big reaction for that. The crowd was counting instead of doing the
What the hell are we doing, Green Bay? Do you even watch the program? What is this? Terrible.
Vaquer blocked an Asuka lock, and Niall kicked her right in the chin. Niall gave Asuka a German suplex for a 2 count. This led to a second commercial break just 8 minutes into the matchup. As they returned from break, Rodriguez hoisted both Niall and Vaquer on her shoulders, which was quite impressive. And then Asuka knocked them both down with a missile dropkick. Asuka handed out kicks and then a pinfall attempt on Niall that was interrupted by Vaquer. Vaquer invited Asuka to her feet so they could go at it again. Asuka no-sold Vaquer strikes, so Vaquer responded with repeated headbutts and then a vertical suplex. Vaquer hit a facebuster, but now broke up the cover. Now gave Asuka a Uranagi, but Vaquer broke up the cover. Then you get Raquel, who looks like she's about to put things away. She hits the Tiara bomb on Stephanie, and you could tell she was about to get yanked out of the ring just by the way she made the cover. As Rhea Ripley makes her an appearance here, she drags Raquel out to the floor. Love the way the camera didn't show her at first, and then streamed over to Rhea for the reveal and a pop from the crowd. She then gave Raquel a riptide on the floor. She puts her back in the ring where Asuka hits a running hip attack that is now called the Empress Impact, according to Corey Graves.
Not bad.
Asuka gets the 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley gets some revenge on Raquel for costing her fatal 4-way first round matchup in the Queen of the Ring tournament. And Asuka picks up a victory in her return, where she now advances to the semifinals of the Queen of the Ring tournament.
Baby.
She goes 1-on-1 with her former tag team partner, former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. Do you remember that? With Alexa Bliss.
Did you? Well, you remember everything. I remember that.
Yes, I did. That was when they literally just always had Damage Control lose tag team title matches, and they lost to Alexa and Asuka, and then Alexa and Asuka lost it right back to Damage Control like 5 days later. This Cole actually reminds us of that as well. The crowd was up and down during the matchup, but they of course popped for the closing sequence with Asuka looking strong in the end. After the matchup, Asuka told Kathy Kelly that no one is ready for her and she would become the Queen of the Ring. I thought this was a solid opener to the show. Like I said, I thought the crowd was up and down throughout, but they were definitely into Asuka, definitely into Stephanie Vaquer. They kind of could care less about Raquel Rodriguez or Ivy now, but when Stephanie and Asuka went at it, they were into things. When they were on the offense, they were into things. So otherwise, it was a solid matchup. And it went nearly 16 minutes. What did you think?
Match was cool from what I saw, besides the commercial breaks. You obviously look forward to Asuka and Vaquer mixing it up. They didn't give away too much there. They sort of left a lot of meat on the bone. Although that dragon screw was nasty. I thought it was to the knee that Asuka injured, but apparently it wasn't. Interference, of course, because, it's a tournament match. Why the hell not? Again. And also, it's Monday Night Raw. You don't even need the tournament matches to have interference. So, 2 for 1 there. Asuka winning. I think a lot of people thought, I think you did too, Stephanie's winning, because we didn't believe the company would put all their chips behind Asuka the way they just gave away that she was in the tournament to begin with. They just gave it away with no fanfare, but she actually won. So, and that makes things very interesting in this tournament, because I think we all had like sort of Jade winning possibly, but we all sign us all up for Asuka and Io Sky. Sign us all up for that. There's so much story to tell there, because quietly behind the scenes, Damage Control no longer exists. What? You can have Asuka, Io, Kairi all together, but you don't give them that moment on screen to talk about it and officially disband it. Like, if you're gonna run this match eventually, you better make some kind of mention of that. What happened to my Damage Control? I like the 3 of them together.
I agree. I understood kind of disbanding it for now after, Asuka was gone. Kairi was injured for a bit. You let go of Dakota Kai, but now that all 3 of them are back, you can easily bring it back into play, but you just quietly disbanded them.
Because you got Asuka in a serious spot here. Kyrie keeps winning matches. Io's the champ. Like, eventually you're going to have, there's a three-way just writing itself eventually.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. We got a couple of comments here. We got Annika who says, I am ready for Asuka. Shout outs to G Loke in the chat. See you in here. He says, not getting my notifications. What the fudge? Happy belated Father's Day to all homies. Smash the like. And what the fuck, Liv? But it did look like it hurt. Yes, it did.
G Loke, you know we're here every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Worst case scenario, a different time. You know it's always Tuesdays. Good.
Exactly. We're here. We're here on Tuesdays. We're here on Thursdays. We're here on Saturdays. Every other day, it depends on what shows are going on.
And by the way, Asuka looked pretty good. She didn't look rusty or anything like that. She looked
she actually looked better than Kyrie.
Yes. And she showed mad fire on the mic afterwards. The fire's still there.
Davion says, congrats to Asuka. So glad she is back. I agree. And we got Prairie Virginia Finisher says Damage Control never made sense to be a team to begin with. It was basically an answer. It was like a subliminal that Triple H was doing Damage Control after Vince got retired or resigned.
I like the group together, so I'm annoyed that it's broken up quietly.
To be fair, I never thought they booked them very well, to be honest.
But I like the three of them. They have chemistry together.
They have chemistry together, no doubt. No doubt. I agree with that. But I just never thought that they ever committed to them being the top heel, the top women's faction that they could have been. And speaking of which, next week on Monday Night Raw in the Queen of the Ring tournament, we will get the final participant. Like we said before, SmackDown will have Asuka versus Alexa Bliss in one semifinals matchup. And in the second, it will be Jade Cargill versus Roxanne Perez next week on Monday Night Raw. So Asuka versus Bliss, I'm going for Asuka. Who you got in that one?
Oh, yeah. Asuka's winning.
And Jade versus Roxanne, who you got? That's a tough one. That's the toughest of. I think that's the toughest of the tournament so far. I said last week that it was a toss-up between Asuka and Stephanie Vaquer. I was leaning towards Stephanie because she was the new hotter star, but it was a toss-up between those two. But I feel like this is an even bigger toss-up.
I really want to see Asuka Roxanne more than Asuka Jade. I think Jade's winning. I think it's Jade Asuka, which is very weird, but
if it's Jade Asuka, I think Jade's gonna win because this would go along with that report that she's supposed to get a push before Evolution.
I think if it's Roxanne Asuka, it just gives away Asuka's winning. I think with Asuka and Jade, there's a little mystery, a little bit more.
I think there's more of a mystery with Roxanne and Asuka because I could see Judgment Day interfering to help Roxanne win.
You could see Judgment Day interfering in any match possible. Yeah.
That's also true.
It's intriguing though because all I can guarantee is that Alexa Bliss is not winning. That's all I can guarantee.
Yeah, for sure. We got a Gunther versus Jey Uso video package saying that Gunther was coming out next. We then get an ad break promo from, oh my god, this was hilarious. Fucking Silky Johnson, Xavier Woods, dressed up as Hater of the Year from the Chappelle Show, Silky Johnson, or Dolomite, whoever you want to say. Xavier Woods had the outfit of the night. Kofi Kingston not too far after with his leopard flowered ensemble.
That is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Kofi got.
And they got
outshined, outshadowed.
But they do cut a heel promo saying that they have a major announcement that they are going to be defending their WWE World Tag Team Championships. It just won't be in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's all they said.
You know, even though you recapped this for me, to me, I look at that outfit that Xavier had on and I think, what a waste, because it wasn't on TV. What a waste. I'd have saved that for a segment where I know I'm going to be on TV. I need to know if I'm going to be on TV before I choose what I'm going to wear. I ain't wasting that just to be seen backstage and not even be like the main focus of the backstage segment later on.
Yeah. He probably was told, like, we got segments for you, and he decided to wear it, and then he was told, no, it's actually going to be in the ad breaks.
The tag champs get zero respect. Zero. With these backstage commercials.
The whole tag division.
Yes, but it's more offensive that the champions. It's more offensive for them. But
So,
you're right.
My question to you, Romeo, is the New Day heel turn still in your top 10?
Yes. It doesn't. The moment itself. Take your back in time. Take yourself back in time. The moment itself. Yes.
Follow up matters, sir. Follow up matters.
Sure, it does. It does.
Like even me, who put out a list of the biggest heel turns ever. I've just gone on record and I'll say it here. The John Cena heel turn is not top 2 anymore. It's now like a top 3, top 5 now. It's still top 5 because of the impact, but the follow-up being so lackluster has moved it down a bit for me.
Well, when you talk about the moments, yes, you must mention the follow-up and the impact. But the moments, where you were when the moment happened still matters. You can't take that away. You can't be like, I didn't actually feel that way. No, you did. You did feel something when you felt that way. You know?
Yeah. We do got Power Driver Finisher says the first time New Day's new gimmick actually popped me. There you go. We got a Silky Johnson reference, so he's happy. We also got Alan in the chat with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Alan, for the support. One of our members and moderators of the channel. He says, so Paul is bringing back NXT Asuka to win the Queen of the Ring and beat Io for the women's title at SummerSlam. Whoa. Slow it down. She can win the Queen of the Ring. I don't know if she should be beating Io for this title. Slow down.
Thank you for the super chat. I still think it's a toss-up between Asuka and Jade, so I'm not guaranteeing Asuka winning just yet, but definitely can see Asuka and Io sometime for the women's title. And, but I don't know when that's going to be. Could be SummerSlam. But I would sign up for that. Asuka, it makes who knows Io better than Asuka? All the time they've spent together. It would make sense.
True.
Give Io a little something difficult in her path, It's like
I would prefer Asuka or Roxanne to win the Queen of the Ring, not Jade. I'd rather Jade get the shot at the women's title at Evolution.
Okay. I mean, yeah, to me, it's just they're both going to happen. It's just who would benefit from winning Queen of the Ring more? I guess Jade. I don't know.
Yeah. I think you're right there. Jade would be probably Jade or
nice
Roxanne.
She got a whole nice little very hot photo shoot, with the crown. Asuka doesn't need that. Asuka would just goof around. That's exactly what she does. She's just emote. Her and Io is just a battle of emotes.
Liv Morgan approached Raquel Rodriguez backstage in the Judgment Day clubhouse and wanted them to go after I guess Io Sky and Kairi Sane, or to help her out with our matchup. I'm not sure. These backstage segments
this was poorly mic'd.
These backstage segments are poorly mic'd now. Unless there's a microphone in their face, they are all very poorly mic'd.
And they're not talking loud to offset it. They're talking normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted to go strategy for her match, I guess.
Okay. Raquel wasn't up for whatever because she wasn't cleared by medical after just wrestling.
Please.
Morgan left to deal with it alone then. There was another disagreement after JD McDonagh asks Dom why he has to face AJ Styles tonight. Dom says that AJ has been nipping at his heels for a shot at the Intercontinental title. I guess nipping at his heels is basically AJ not paying attention to him for over a month now and dealing with Chad Gable, El Grande Americano, and a qualifier for the Money in the Bank tournament. But I guess that's still nipping at his heels.
Yeah, he just keeps hinting that he wants the IC title. His mind's still on that, while not actually going for it.
Finn says that he's going to be in JD's corner, but Dom doesn't think that's a good idea because he says that he asked him to take care of AJ and he couldn't get it done. So he thinks that he should stay in the back and hold down the fort. Balor brushes this off and says that he's right. He says that Dom,
after a long stare like this, he says, "You're right."
you're right. He says that Dom should be in his corner. The crowd even loudly chanted "what" because this segment was not poorly, not.
It's
well
even
liked.
worse if you're there live. You can't hear these segments at all to begin with.
No, I've been there. That London show, every backstage segment, I had to tell people to shut up because I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Balor told after Dom and JD leaves, he tells Raquel not to worry about Morgan and that she did all right out there, and Raquel fake smiles at him. And then he talks to Roxanne Perez and says that, I know Liv says she'll handle it on her own, but I think that you can help Liv with her little problem here. And they leave to talk more about it. But unfortunately, we never saw the payoff of this.
Well, you could get the hint there that Roxanne was probably going to help Liv win.
Yeah.
That was probably the direction. Finn was good in this segment, but I got to admit, man, I miss Carlito. I miss Carlito-fying these segments with his little quirks here and there and just making you laugh, smile. And somehow they got the PS5 back. And I don't know if you noticed in the background. I was like, what?
Yes, I did. I did notice that. I was like, oh, they got it back in the divorce. They refiled.
Dom told Finn, like, hold the fort. Like, what does hold the fort mean? Like, what is he doing back here? Just make sure nobody steals the PlayStation again? Like, is that what
Yeah, no one steals the PlayStation, of course.
I don't get it.
Priorities. We got Tony K who says nobody's challenging Tiffy for the women's title. I said Jade. I think Jade should challenge at Evolution because that's in our hometown of Atlanta. I feel like it should be Jade and Tiffy at Evolution, and then I would say that's the spot where Naomi cashes in.
Listen, people had the idea of like Sammy winning a title and getting cashed in on. If anybody should do that, it should be Jade. She wins and she gets cashed in on because that adds so much story to what Naomi's got going on with her.
Yeah, especially if she does it in our hometown.
Ooh.
Heat.
Naomi's already hater of the year. This would just put the name on the award if she does this.
Absolutely. We got another super chat donation here from Alan. Thank you so much, Alan, for the support, brother. He says WWE is about to shock the world and have Goldberg win the world title so people will be talking about them instead of AEW's All In. They definitely would be talking about them. I don't know how positive it would be, but speaking of which, let's get to we'll keep the super chat up here so we can talk more about it afterwards. But let's get into this segment here. You get Gunther. He enters and receives a big fireworks display after winning the World Heavyweight Championship last week from Jey Uso.
Happy. I've never seen Gunther smile this much.
Smiling ear to ear. He wants to hear from the crowd as he gets the fireworks display. Gunther gets on the mic and says that he was man enough to admit that Jey Uso was the better man at WrestleMania. Jey was better than him for one night. But on every other night, Gunther was untouchable. The crowd booed him. Gunther heard the rumors about what was next for him as the crowd started chanting, Goldberg, Goldberg, Goldberg. Gunther says that it wasn't him because he already cussed out that guy in front of his family. Gunther spoke about Seth Rollins instead. He heard Rollins say that the champion would be a target. So he told Rollins he was right there. So if he was a target, come get him. Instead, the music of Goldberg hits and out comes the WWE Hall of Famer.
It's like you hear the whole crowd go, oh. It's like they couldn't believe, like they were anticipating Goldberg, but they still couldn't believe that it actually happened.
They're like, oh my God, it's really happening. Goldberg comes out to the huge pyro. He wore a Goldberg's Last Ride t-shirt. The fans chanting.
Cease and desist. Undertaker's like, what?
Goldberg comes out with the t-shirt. He gets a huge ovation from this crowd. Goldberg gets in the ring and he gets on the mic. He told Gunther not to worry because tonight was his night. Goldberg congratulated him on winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Goldberg got in his face and he recalled what happened between them the last time they saw each other. Gunther started something with him and his family in Atlanta. So Goldberg wanted to end it in Atlanta. At Saturday night's main event on July 12th, you're mine.
I'm shocked he didn't botch that line. Having to remember a whole date, like I'm shocked Goldberg didn't mess that up.
Because you're next. Gunther was perturbed. He leaves the ring, showing intimidation at Goldberg and the threat that he presents here. I thought Goldberg was not. He was short to the point. He was concise. He felt like a very much the badass of old. And it was made official right after this that yes, it will be Goldberg challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship on Saturday, July 12th, NBC live nationwide at Saturday night's main event in Atlanta, Georgia. Like I said, I thought Goldberg was good here. What wasn't good, Goldberg looked old, and Goldberg looked significantly smaller than Gunther. Like, as any type of aura Goldberg had, it immediately disappeared as he stood in the ring with Gunther, and Gunther dwarfed him, made him look like a dwarf next to him. And anytime they did a behind the back shot, Goldberg's head, oh my God, he's never looked this old. I think this is the oldest that he's ever looked. He didn't look like his regular jacked self either. He's wearing a long sleeve shirt. He looked like an old man out there. Like, I understand, yeah, he's 58 years old. There ain't no hiding that. But God damn, I never thought that this matchup needed to be for the World Heavyweight Championship. This man has received so many undeserving championship opportunities since he's been back, since after his first retirement after WrestleMania 33. He's received a ton of undeserved title matches since then, and this might be the most egregious because the simplest thing they could have done is make this a title versus career matchup. So, and then all the merchandise that came out about this being his last ride and not specifically his last match, and him not mentioning that this is his retirement match in any way during this promo, it does get me worried that what Alan said in the chat with his super chat, yeah, it does get me worried that they may actually put the title on Goldberg.
You should be. You, me, Alan, the chat, we should all be terrified that Goldberg is about to become world champion. And this is not no damn last match. This is a series of matches. This is the Goldberg farewell tour to go along with John Cena. Goldberg and John Cena, world champions in 2025. Wow. Are we sure Vince McMahon is gone? Because this is Vince McMahon booking to a T. Yeah. To a T. This is all like, is Vince on his deathbed and like, Pops, I got you. You want one last wish to book this? I got you, Pops. Wow. You guys go look at those shirts they put on WWE Shop. Each one has Goldberg with the championship. So either this is
all of gold. Yeah.
Either this is one big giant swerve to make you think he's going to win, and then bam, Gunther destroys him, or he's actually going to win the championship, and he's going to have a little mini run during the summer. Oh my goodness. And by the way, he looks terrible. Like SP3 said, he is sweating like Patrick Ewing during a promo.
He limped to the ring, Romeo.
He couldn't get on. He struggled getting on the middle rope. They got a video of him going backstage. He is gassed from a promo. Oh my God. This has the potential to be the biggest Goldberg catastrophe / disaster since you know when. Oh my God. This could be so bad, so terrible. And the idea that it might not just be one match, that it might be a series of matches makes it even worse. And you know what? If this was the plan the whole time, good thing getting Jey Uso the fuck out of this picture. He did not need that. No, he did not.
No.
But poor Gunther, he's going to be the sacrificial lamb, or is he? I don't know. I am intrigued though. This match is going to be shit. There's no way. It's 3 minutes or less, which I, by the way, Gunther tweeted. I don't know if you saw that. He's like, sure, I have 3 minutes. But I can't lie. I am intrigued to see this because it's like the idea of what the booking will be and the idea of you want to see a car crash also at the same time.
Yeah.
Those ideas are intriguing to see. Like, it's not like I'm saying, oh, you know, I can't screw all in. I want to watch this. It's not like I'm saying that, folks. Relax. And by the way, they're not on at the same time. All in should be done by the time this ever happens. Should be. It's Tony Khan. You don't know. You never know.
Yeah.
But I am intrigued. Excited.
This does have the curiosity draw to it.
Exactly. For maybe mostly bad reasons. Mostly.
Yeah.
Because I told you, it's not going to be good. You'd be shocked if it's even passable. If it's even 2 stars, you'll be shocked.
And Alan's right. He says, if you look at, we thought that Kevin was going to win, but I didn't think Kevin Owens was going to beat Goldberg. And he got beat. We thought The Fiend was going to win. I did think The Fiend was going to win, and he got beat. I'm 1 for 2. Did you think Kevin was going to beat Goldberg back in 2017? I definitely did.
I honestly can't remember what I was feeling because just those 2 matches are just like, what are we doing? Like, oh, both of them. So I might have just been resigned to like, all right, let's just see whatever this bullshit is, and like, you know, didn't really pick a winner, but I kind of feel that way here. It's like I'm resigned again. It's like, again, Goldberg, whatever. Get this shit over with. Let's move on. Just like I thought, like this guy, I remember him giving a speech. Where was it? It was like the Raw after Mania. I was there in attendance. He sounded like he was giving like a goodbye speech. It sounded like for good.
The Raw after WrestleMania 33. I was there live for that.
Yeah. I was like, okay, bye. Here I am again. One last ride. Go away.
I think after 33, his next matchup is the Undertaker match.
Whatever, man. Just get it over with.
I know you're busy, but you would love to join me and Jeremy. Me and Jeremy came up with a new mini series that we're gonna do on In the Weeds for Fightful Select. We're gonna do Worst of the Weeds, Saudi Classics, and we're gonna watch all of Goldberg's Saudi Arabia matches.
I tell people Goldberg Undertaker is must see for all the wrong reasons. You have to watch it. You can't just say, I don't want to. I'm not gonna watch that garbage. No, you have to watch it in your lifetime. It is a must watch.
And I think it was Ken Bruno in the In the Weeds chat. He says that the length of time Goldberg has wrestled in the ring since his return at Survivor Series 2006 is a total of 49 minutes.
It's crazy. I can see him winning, man. If you think Gunther's indestructible against Goldberg, I don't know. I
mean, it took Gunther 14 minutes to beat Pat McAfee. I think Goldberg is going to be an issue.
I wonder how many chops Goldberg is cool taking.
It's like, I'll take 3.
One might give him a heart attack. One chop might give him a heart attack.
Gonna be like Ric Flair in the Ric Flair's last match.
It might. This guy is gonna. Oh my! This is a disaster. You guys are. This is a free TV. People got to watch this heart attack on live TV. Insane.
Next, we had AJ Styles going one-on-one with the Judgment Day's JD McDonagh. Dom was in JD's corner. He helped JD get a rope break when Styles went for a calf crusher early on. Styles chased Dom around ringside, and JD caught AJ coming across the timekeeper's area with a huge dive over the barricade that looked really cool and got a big reaction. Styles fought back after commercial break, but McDonagh caught him with a big headbutt right to the chin and then followed up with a brainbuster for 2. Styles knocked McDonagh off the ropes, but Dom distracted him as AJ kind of like paused for a second, and I guess Dom came on the apron too slow. He hopped off. He knocks him off the apron right in front of the referee. McDonagh tried to use the distraction, but Styles was able to hit the Styles Clash for the 1-2-3. This was decent. I thought it could have been better if it got more time and was a little bit more focused on these two great in-ring performers. Post-match, you get Dom who tries to attack Styles, but he fights him off. Dom leaves the Intercontinental Championship when Balor pulls him away to safety. Styles lifts the Intercontinental Championship in the air, posing with it until Balor, Dom, and JD surround the ring. AJ escapes through the entranceway, leaving the Judgment Day in the ring while AJ has the Intercontinental Championship. We would see later in the show, a couple of segments later, Nick Aldis was backstage and he collects the Intercontinental Championship from AJ, and he's filling in for Adam Pearce, who's on vacation. Aldis informed Styles that he was getting an Intercontinental Championship matchup in 2 weeks, Saturday, June 28th at Night of Champions. This will be AJ Styles versus Dom Mysterio for the IC title. What did you think about AJ versus JD?
Yeah, it was fine. Like you said, could have used more time, but this is where Michael Cole just starts messing up all over the place. My goodness. He wanted to call it a Styles Flash again, like they did last week. Where I understand last week.
No, that was the Flash Clash. Corey had to correct him.
I don't know what's going. It was a Styles Clash. That's all it was. It was a Styles Clash. And then he says it was a kick out. Where was there a kick out? I was like, no, I'm sorry, that's the pin. Like, where do you see a kick out? Are you watching the match? It's like not even close, but whatever. It's like Finn was clutch though. Finn Balor, he was clutch there. He tried. He saw the writing on the wall. Don't say Finn don't try to help out. Yeah, they tried to keep him back there to hold down the fort. Somebody stole the PS5 now, probably. Whatever.
It's just kind of bad.
The match is fine for Night of Champions. It should be, championship match, Night of Champions. We need all the championship matches we can get. 5 of them.
AJ Styles has looked so much better since that kind of dud of a matchup with Logan Paul at WrestleMania. I will give him that.
Wasn't a dud.
It was a dud.
But yes.
It was a dud. It was forgettable.
It's better than this. Yes.
I gave it 2.5 stars. I think that's one of the most overrated 3.5 star matches that Dave Meltzer ever rated. Maxine Dupree and Natalya, along with Akira Tozawa,
the Dungeon Dolls.
The Dungeon Dolls. Yes, they have T-shirts now. The Dungeon Dolls. They approach Sheamus to give him words of encouragement for tonight's King of the Ring first round matchup. They want him to take care of Rusev, but Tozawa fires him up and tells Sheamus to kick his ass. Then we go on another part of backstage. Bayley is walking to the ring through the back. She's up next, and we see Grayson Waller and Austin Theory arguing as they hung out with the New Day.
Oh, Bayley. Didn't even notice Xavier.
He's like, this is my first time seeing Xavier in this segment. Oh man, the A-Town Down Under might be the most egregious of the Triple H long-term booking ever.
You remember those Emelina skits?
Yeah.
That's how long this is going for.
And then it's just gonna be, I'm Emma. I said this on interviews, and I'll say it to you here, and you're Triple H supporters, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. But I feel like outside of the Judgment Day and last year's SummerSlam, like there's not been any intentional long-term storytelling that has had a big payoff for Triple H that he actually followed through on and gave us this big payoff for that was worth it being dragged out this long. Like the Judgment Day stuff, it paid off. They teased that for like a year, and then it paid off at SummerSlam. It's up to you how you feel about the follow-up to that. And like the Bloodline stuff from 2023, that was very well paced and it paid off this stuff. But especially with the undercard or mid-card stuff that he tries to have long-term storytelling for, it never justifies how long he does this stuff.
Well, I'm trying to think. It's like a lot of the stuff that I'm thinking of is still going. Still yet to see the conclusion. All the Bianca, Jade, Naomi stuff is still going. Sammy stuff still going. Jay winning the title, do you call that a conclusion? I guess. Yeah. Sort of. He got there.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird. We do have a super chat donation from our good brother Alan, who says, but we all might be happy if Seth cashes in on Goldberg after the match. Would you be all right with Goldberg beating Gunther and then Seth cashing in?
I don't think it should happen on the same night, but I can't see a universe where Seth does cash in Goldberg just to get it off him and send him on his merry way packing. But I don't think it should be the same night. Just let Goldberg have his moment. If he's going to have his moment, then you're going to shit on it like that. I don't think that works for Goldberg. I don't think he signed up for that. I don't think he did. Not on the same night. In his hometown. That'd be wild.
He probably wants to go over. He's probably going to talk his way into getting over. Right?
Yes. I don't think if Goldberg signed a deal to come back and lose, I'd give him his props. I'd give him a little bit of props. Like, I don't want to see it. I don't care. But the fact that it's if he lets Gunther run through him, I'd give him his props. But I don't see it happening. It's two different things. Because that would if Gunther were to destroy Goldberg, like beat him, that would be good for Gunther to put that on his resume and say he did that.
Yeah, that would be definitely a big accomplishment in his career where he could say, I retired Goldberg. Yep.
But I got to see it to believe.
There is a version of Goldberg and Gunther that works and means something, and it's something memorable. It's just that a lot of us don't have the optimism to believe that is what we're going to see on July 12th.
Correct.
Next, you get Bayley coming out to the ring. She enters to a good reaction from the crowd. She says that she missed the fans and was happy to be back. She waited as she heard some fans trying to sing, but it didn't pick up on the crowd mics until they started loudly chanting, "Let's go, Bayley." He says she's like, there we go. Then she reveled in every opportunity she had to perform, she says, for the fans, because it's what she was born for. She put her heart and soul into every single night. 2 months ago, she was robbed and stripped of a WrestleMania matchup and an opportunity to go after the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. That division was near and dear to her heart, as she is the first ever WWE Women's Tag Team Champion with Mercedes Moné. She didn't just perform for WrestleMania, though. She would do any night and would do it on nights like this. If Becky Lynch thought that she broke her by costing her WrestleMania, she was wrong. It healed her and made her stronger. Bayley said that Becky was always 2 steps ahead of her on the ladder, and she admitted that it ate at her. But Bayley planned on climbing the ladder and knocking Lynch down and taking everything from her in the process. This brought out Becky Lynch, who gets the biggest boos and heat of the night as she is rocking Chicago Bears gear, the rival team of the Green Bay Packers and her husband, Seth Rollins' favorite football team. The fans chant, "The Bears still suck, the Bears still suck, the Bears still suck." Becky says that she and Bayley were the same. They were never meant to be on the top of the division, but Bayley accepted playing second fiddle while Becky didn't. Bayley would rather have friends over her legacy. Lynch would rather have her legacy over some fake ass friends. Bayley says that she's built her own legacy and is a future Hall of Famer if you ask her, right, Michael Cole? That's why she didn't mind bringing others in the locker room along with her. Lynch says that she used to fight for the people, but they stopped fighting for her, so she stopped fighting for the people. Lynch said that Bayley's also stopped fighting for Bayley, and the fans stopped fighting for her as well. Nobody gave a damn about Bayley when Lynch came out and replaced her at WrestleMania. Bayley called her an insecure little idiot. Lynch was so worried about how the fans would react to her return, and she took out Bayley so her return could be a big surprise. She followed that by the very next night taking out Lyra Valkyria as well. Lynch noted that the fans cheered that too. Bayley wondered if Lynch forgot what it was like to fight for opportunities and if her head was too far up her ass. Lynch smiled and says that she didn't remember what that was like. She wondered if Bayley remembered what gold felt like. Bayley challenged her for a match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lynch was okay with that, but not in Green Bay and not for the title. She says she'll see you in Columbus. Becky tried to cheap shot by slapping Bayley, but Bayley responded and knocked her on her ass with a forearm before Lynch bailed with the title. Lynch says that was a sucker punch, and she was just trying to fix her hair as she walks up the ramp. Then backstage, after the AJ Styles segment with Nick Aldis, we get Bayley approaching the SmackDown general manager, and he puts her in a Women's Intercontinental Championship matchup against Becky Lynch next week. Bayley was very happy.
On Raw, come on.
I know. Bayley was very happy about that, and this led to Lyra then calling out for Bayley. Bayley approached Lyra, and Bayley apologized for not returning her texts and phone calls over the last couple of months. She says she was a little distracted and a little distraught after what happened to her before WrestleMania. Lyra was annoyed, but understood that Bayley was just simply doing what was best for her. So she says she would have to do what's best for herself as well. This will lead to next week, Columbus, Ohio. Bayley challenging Becky Lynch for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Like your response, I was very surprised this was made for next week instead of Night of Champions. In my head, I think they're going to do something with Seth versus LA Knight, or maybe the Seth and the Seth Riders, Seth and the Braun Stars versus the baby faces that would get involved in the main event as the fifth match for Night of Champions. They pushed this, but I do agree. This match should have been on the Night of Champions card.
The thing is called Night of Champions, not Night of Tag Team matches. No. Put a championship match on the Night of Champions card. Hello? And put the other match on a Raw. It's so dumb, so stupid. But the segment, I loved it. That was the segment of the night right there. Like, that was two future Hall of Famers going at it toe-to-toe with strong emotions, believable emotions, almost blurring the lines of reality and fiction with some of the stuff they were saying to each other. So I loved it. And I like the little backstage part too with Lyra. Like she didn't need to come out in the middle of the ring during that. I like having it backstage. Lyra doing, I'm going to do what's best for me then. Like, that was nice. It added something to her character. Good stuff all the way around. And Becky is tremendous as a heel right now. She is rolling. All good stuff.
Yeah.
But the bad part is where the match is going to be. Terrible.
I thought this was really well done. I thought Bayley, with her solo promo, she came off very emotional, yet passionate at the same time. And she kind of in the best way that she could, kind of just washed away the being taken out of WrestleMania and made it about every night is important to her, not just one night like WrestleMania. That really made her a very likable, endearing babyface. And then Becky Lynch is just the exact juxtaposition to that. The way that she plays on the fact that the fans still cheer some of the stuff that she does and just basically calls them out for it. It's so great. It's so nuanced the way she plays a heel. She just is. I agree with you. She is on another level as far as the heels in the women's division. It's Becky, Naomi, and then it's everybody else. They're the two best heels in the women's division right now.
Yep.
We got Annika in the chat. He says the feud with Damage Control was too many people in it. She says she wants a legit feud between Bayley and Becky. Lyra can wait. You did get a legit feud. I told you last week. Why are you trying to force it? You want another feud between Becky and Bayley. It still happened. It's happened before. You just wanted. It's now different. It's now different though. I think they're in better position. I think Bayley was a lot better of a heel than people gave her credit for, but I think she is much naturally a babyface, and I think that Becky is the better of the two at playing heel.
This is better, and for now, Lyra is remaining out of it. We'll see what happens.
Chuck Berry says this makes me think they will do a triple threat match for the women's Intercontinental title at Evolution. I mean, we talked about it last week. We said that we was like they do a singles match at Night of Champions, and maybe Evolution is the 3-way matchup, or maybe Bayley. We said they could switch it up in any which way, but it looks like, from what we saw on this show, that it's probably going to be Becky and Bayley probably not getting a legit finish next week, or a tainted win for Becky, and then it leads to the 3-way at Evolution.
Yep. Because Triple H has the task of trying to fit in as many women as he possibly can in a 5-match card for the women. Which, I think for one night, Triple H, you can get rid of your little 5-match referendum. Get, as many women as you can on this card.
I agree. We go backstage where they talk to Jey Uso, Kathy Kelly, about his 4-way matchup in the King of the Ring first round. Jey has his eyes set on a rematch with Gunther, and he was fine going through the King of the Ring to get it. 4 letters, 1 word, yeet.
I think you added an extra
Yeah. Or is it
It's only yeah, 2 U's.
I thought it was 3 U's.
No,
I thought it was
2.
3 U's.
2.
I don't care.
Maybe you add the extra one because you're like, ugh. That's you.
And then we had the aforementioned Liv Morgan versus Kyrie Sane Romeo. The match goes a few minutes, and then we go to
a few seconds.
I mean, it lasted 2 minutes 45 seconds because it took them a while to get the referee stoppage. But
this happened instantly.
The first spot of the matchup saw Sane going for a takedown where Liv came up injured. She basically tries to plant when she's basically taken down face first, and her elbow basically hits the mat, and it basically dislocates her shoulder in the process. She immediately is like almost like screaming, like you could tell something was wrong when she goes to the floor, and then the doctor comes over and checks on her. They take the camera off of her for a while during the commercial break as Irie's kind of in the ring, kind of just trying to get the crowd involved in things. But they call the matchup via referee stoppage. The reaction on her face said it all for Liv. She was very hurt. She's escorted to the back. And then a few minutes later, Michael Cole announces on commentary that Liv Morgan suffered a dislocated shoulder, a heartbreaking injury, and just the worst timing possible on it, where she is like a centerpiece, like we said earlier, in all these different storylines.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. She tried to break her fall. The shoulder got jacked, rolled to the outside. I was hoping it was one of those instances where you've seen this before, where like some of the performers will like just pop their shoulder back into place and then okay, let's wrestle again. But no, it's just no reason to do that here in a simple, throwaway match with Kairi Sane. And Kairi Sane, I do not want to be in the ring with Kairi Sane right now. She's got some kind of black cloud over her where either the match is sloppy or someone's getting hurt, because Zoe Stark got hurt in a match with Kairi Sane before. And now we got Liv Morgan. It's like, and then, oh my god, did you see this celebration that Kairi Sane did online? Or
Yes.
You might have saw it live.
I saw it live.
What the F is that? She's like she won the World Cup or something. Have a little sportsmanship, Mike. Someone just got seriously injured, and she's running across the ropes. She's like, yippee! It's like, what the F is this?
Easy payday.
Unacceptable.
Easy payday. Why is it unacceptable?
No class from Kairi Sane. Zero. Pray for Liv Morgan. Hashtag pray for Liv. Send her praying emojis on Twitter. I already did. I hope it's a short-term injury and not one where she's gone for months. Months on months on months. Because that would suck.
I hope she's gonna be all right, because it really sucks, because she's been having a great year. It's like first she had the Hollywood movie, which she had to film. She was out for a couple of weeks, and then she was just finding her footing a bit in the last couple of matches after her first match with Kyrie did not go very well, and she was finding her footing back again, and then this freak injury happens as soon as she gets back in the ring with Kyrie.
Not good. Please be well. Please. I can't go.
I hope so.
6 to 8 months without Liv Morgan. I can't.
Well, the dislocated shoulder, it usually takes 3 to 4 months to recover. At the best, a dislocation will take 16 weeks to recover from. But we've seen guys like Randy Orton, who was out for like 6 months with a dislocated shoulder in the past. So it could be any number of time. We don't know just yet.
We know Liv is tough. We've seen her be tough before, so.
And this would be like her first major injury, wouldn't it?
I think she's been hurt before. I think she hurt her shoulder before, actually. I don't know.
Maybe she got bad shoulders. She got those Randy Orton shoulders.
Randy definitely does.
We did get an ad break promo. I don't know when this happened, but it was earlier in the night. I saw it on social media where Penta, he advertised the upcoming super shows in Mexico, as well as he says that he has unfinished business with the Seth Riders and says that he will beat Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed one by one.
Yeah, they got some star power on those shows they're doing over there. They're not just sending anybody. They're sending the big guns.
Mm-hmm. Cody, Seth, supposed to be on those shows. So. And then we got one last backstage segment before our main event of the show. Yeah. We get Sami Zayn with an interview backstage talking about the King of the Ring tournament when Karrion Kross interrupts. Kross thought that Zayn was insane for doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. He says that that's the definition of insanity. Kross said that Randy Orton would beat Zayn, go on to win his 15th title, and Zayn would stay at 0. Sami called Kross a coward for lurking in the shadows. Sami wondered if Kross had the courage to back up his words. Zayn has talked a big game and lost and had the courage to pick himself up and go back out there again. Kross couldn't say the same thing. Zayn was tired of hearing from Kross. Sami's focus was on the King of the Ring right now, but the second that was done, he would get Adam Pearce to put them in a matchup, and Kross said it was about damn time.
Oof. This was good. And if you need an out for Sami Zayn to not win King of the Ring, this is it right here. This is it.
I would have Kross interfere on Friday.
Yeah, if not at actual King of the Ring, because I understand you still want to have Sami out there, on the card. They'll probably interfere then. The chances of Sami winning now have gone down drastically. with this all this cross stuff. They're paying a lot of attention to it. A lot of attention.
Pretty good lineup for next week on Raw. Like we said earlier, Becky Lynch versus Bayley for the Women's Intercontinental title. Queen of the Ring semifinal, Jade Cargill versus Roxanne Perez. And King of the Ring final, semifinal, it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus the winner of our main event, our final King of the Ring fatal 4-way first round. First round matchup. It's Jey Uso, who was the fourth mystery man in the tournament, as he's going to go up against Rusev, Sheamus, and Bronson Reed, who had Paul Heyman in his corner. They went about 90 seconds into the matchup as we went to a commercial break after Jey hit a tope suicida on Rusev. Jey's ribs was taped up, but he did not sell it during his entrance because he refuses to. Reed tossed Sheamus over the barricade, but Sheamus emerged to give him 20 beats of the Bowery. Jey super kicked Sheamus when he came back over the barricade and went for a running hip attack on Reed, but Rusev knocked down Jey instead. Rusev and Sheamus start going at it. They start hitting big move after big move and exchanging right hands until Reed squishes them in the corner. They still get fighting and clubbering each other with big lariats. Reed gave Jey a world's strongest slam. Jey and Sheamus went back and forth until Sheamus hit him with a backbreaker. The crowd cheered for Sheamus as he got big Bronson Reed on his shoulders and hit white noise, but Rusev broke up the cover. Rusev slammed Sheamus onto Reed. Jey handed out super kicks again until Rusev knocked him on his ass with a big lariat. He then applies the accolade. Sheamus flew in and nails him with a flying knee strike. Reed broke up a cover as Sheamus pinned Rusev after he hit the bro kick and hits him with a big senton. Then Reed hit Sheamus with the tsunami. Jey broke up the cover for that one. Jey spears Reed, but surprise, surprise, there's interference for the fifth time in these 8 fatal 4-way matches from the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. Fifth matchup that had outside interference as Braun Breaker shoves Jey off the top rope. So Sami Zayn comes down to the ring and he posts a Breaker. Zayn went for an Aluva kick on Breaker, but Breaker was able to grab him by the throat. He lifts him up and gives him a gorilla press across the announce table. Penta comes flying in as he gets a big dive, a tope con hilo onto Breaker to take him out. Reed hit Jey with a DVD, but there was more interference as this time LA Knight pushes Reed off the top rope. Jey then gives Reed a pair of super kicks. He hits him with a big spear. He hits him with one Uso splash. He goes right back up to the top rope, hits a second Uso splash. 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso advances in the King of the Ring tournament thanks to a timely assist from LA Knight. Yeah, Jey Uso. Jey Uso will now face his former tag team partner and good friend Cody Rhodes in the semifinals. Seth Rollins marches down to the ring to go after Jey. He takes off his jewelry and his jacket. He climbs up the steps, and as he's in the ring and about to attack Jey, the music of the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes hit to a huge reaction. Biggest reaction of the show. He comes down and gets in Seth's face, basically daring him to make a move on Jey. They stare down with one another as the crowd chants, "Holy shit." Rollins leaves the ring as he gets surrounded by the Braun Stars and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman tells him that it's not the right time as the Seth Riders leave the ringside area. And then Jey and Cody, they start staring down with one another. They shake hands as they are now going to go one-on-one next week, Monday Night Raw, King of the Ring semifinals. It's Jey Uso going one-on-one with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Super fun matchup. This was a sports entertainment special with a whole bunch of run-ins and interference that just got the crowd popping. This was one of the better. I think this and the Sami 4-way from last week is probably the best of the King of the Ring first round matchups that we saw. I think I'll take the Sammy one, give it a little bit of the edge because this got a little bit ridiculous with the amount of run-ins, but can't deny how excited the crowd got. They popped for all the interference. They popped for the big spots in the matchup. They were really into the final stretch. I thought Sheamus was great in this matchup. I thought this was one of Rusev's better performance. I don't agree with Bronson Reed taking the loss here. I think this was a perfect opportunity for Sheamus to take the loss because he's the only guy that's Teflon in this group. I thought that
That'll work for
Bronson
Sheamus,
Reed,
brother.
I know. Bronson Reed, I felt like he just needed to be protected and shouldn't have taken the loss, but Jey winning here was a no-brainer. As soon as he was announced as the fourth guy, whoever was announced as the fourth guy, they were going to win this matchup. So that made sense, and it's very interesting that the King of the Ring Final Four are all four baby faces, considering we have Gunther, a heel, as the world champion, and you got John Cena, who's a hero, as the undisputed WWE champion. It makes a world of sense to have four of your top baby faces in the King of the Ring semifinals, with Orton versus Sami Zayn on Friday, and then next week on Raw, Cody and Jey Uso. So very intrigued to see what's going to be the final matchup of the tournament. Romeo, what did you think?
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. This was overbooked as fuck, but I enjoyed the hell out of it with all those run-ins and the interference. I know there's been interference in damn near every match of this tournament, but for this one, this was pretty fun because you had so much of it, and you didn't see it coming each time. So, and the crowd was popping for each one of them. So, and the right guy won. Jey Uso should win. I wasn't as convinced that he was going to win just because he had the taped ribs and like you could use that as an out, and you could use maybe Bronson Reed could have got a big win here and just for his own good. If Jey Uso's not going to win the whole thing anyways, but I like Jey winning because it sets up this amazing match next week. This is a big time match with big time stakes and a big story with these two guys going at it, Jey and Cody. And because Jey has the taped up ribs, you assume he's still going to have that. It creates an interesting dilemma for our hero, Cody Rhodes, the ultimate babyface. Is he going to have dumb babyface syndrome where he doesn't really want to take advantage of the ribs? Or is he just going to go out and take it like, sorry, guy, I got to win this. I got to win this for me and mine. Very interesting dilemma. The storytelling should be off the chains during this match whenever it happens next week. And as for the tournament, 4 baby faces, cool. I like it. I mean, it's different. All these guys, you know, you could see the case for them being in the position that they are. And it sets up very intriguing finals possibilities where you could get Sammy versus Cody. You could get Sammy versus Jey. You could get Orton versus Cody. I think Orton versus Jey is the least interesting out of all the possibilities, but 3 out of 4 of those are very, very interesting.
I think Cody's definitely winning. I don't see how, unless you're going to save the Cody and Cena matchup to like past like SummerSlam, you think you can get that much juice out of it, and then it's not going to be on a major pay-per-view. It's probably going to wind up on like Clash in Paris. I think it makes the most sense for Cody to at least make it to the finals. And I think that Cody is the centerpiece of these 4 because he has connections with all 4 guys.
Yes, if these
are his 3 best friends that he's made since finishing his story, with Orton being his mentor, Jey being his tag team partner. Sammy was kind of his co-babyface in the fight against the Bloodline since 2023. So it makes sense that Cody should be in the finals. And then I'm very intrigued by Friday with Orton versus Sammy. So they did do a good job with those 4 as the final 4.
And let me tell you, the Seth Riders have a case to interfere in both of these damn matches. And they have a case to interfere. They owe these. Like this just keeps going back and forth. It's like you could see them more interference in both of these. You could see it.
I was very much surprised. Power Finisher chanting "Holy shit" for Cody Rollins when we saw Cody whoop that ass 3 times in a row. What low fucking standards! I think that it was just surprising how much juice that matchup has now for the fans, because considering that these were the 2 that were in the main event of WrestleMania, with Seth winning on night 1 and Cody losing on night 2. But because Seth has this new heel character and he has the Seth Riders, it feels fresher than that matchup has felt in the last couple of years since they had their rivalry in 2022.
These guys are linked to each other forever. They're destined to do this dance forever. Don't be upset because you're not as into it as the crowd is. Don't be mad. It's okay. It's okay. I like it, man. It's like it's got a little Superman versus Lex Luthor to it. Now that they had these more defined roles with each other, you know? I don't know.
That is true.
The next time it happens, it will be big.
Yeah, that feels like a big matchup that they can do either later this year or maybe next year's WrestleMania, even if they want to hold off on it. Chuck Berries with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the big super chat donation here. We appreciate you, good sir. He says, I've always been skeptical, when you have multiple baby faces placed in a tournament angle. But with these 4 particular faces, this will be good, in my opinion.
I love it because all 4 of them, you could sense they all have a hunger to reach that championship, either for the first time or for another time. They all have good reason. They all want it so bad for different reasons. All of them.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And it you know, but watch out for that interference, man. I'm telling you, it's coming.
I think because they had the most recent title opportunities, I think the most intriguing final is Cody and Sammy. Because Jey just lost the title, Orton just lost his title matchup. I don't really want to see either one of them in the finals. I think the story is Cody trying to reclaim the WWE Championship against John Cena, and Sammy trying to win his first world title against a guy he knows he can beat, that he ended his Intercontinental title reign, his historic Intercontinental title reign last year. That's the 2 guys I want to see in the finals.
Yes, that's the final where it has the most intrigue, where you could see a case where Sammy actually can win. Like he's the guy who has the best odds to beat Cody Rhodes, ironically. It's just, where you could see it going either way.
Well, we've made it to the end of another edition of Rated Raw Review. I want to thank you all for joining us. Final call for super chat donations, but y'all know the deal, how we always do on Rated Raw Review. We want to hear from you. What was your match of the night? Your MVP, your LVP? Did you give the show a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle? And out of 10, what did you give this show? For our community tab, because if you notice, if you check our community tab here on the channel, we have been putting lately, we want to hear from you. What did you think of all the shows? So we put up a poll for if you gave it a 9 out of 10, 7 out of 8, 5 out of 6, or 1 through 4. And for this edition of Monday Night Raw, you, the people, gave 36% to a 7 through an 8. Second place was 9 through 10 at 27%, and 18% was 5 through 6 and 1 through 4. Split the vote there. So for me and Romeo, for the June 16, 2025 edition of Monday Night Raw, in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from both of us. Romeo, out of 10, what did you give this show?
I'll give it a high 7, 7.7. The in-ring stuff was good. Love the Bayley Becky segment. That was my segment of the night. Once again, interference all over the place, as expected weekly here, and on the other show. It's not like it's a Raw thing. It's a SmackDown thing too. I enjoyed it. A lot of storyline progression. Unfortunate, huge roadblock now with Liv Morgan. You hope she's okay, but because that'll put a dent in a lot of things.
Yeah, I went 7 out of 10 for this one. It was a solid episode. Nothing like crazy great where I can give it like a 7.5, 8 out of 10, but 7 out of 10, very solid show. Some good stuff, like you said, the Bayley and Becky, the Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring tournament matches were good, but it was a downer with the Liv Morgan injury and whatever your taste is on Goldberg being back. That's the big real note of the show, and those two, Liv's injury and Goldberg's return, are the big stories from this show. So it kind of varies on how you feel about that. So yeah. What did you give MVP for the show, Romeo?
Asuka and Jey for winning their matches and advancing. Asuka, a nice return. She looked good. And Jey surviving it all, surviving all the run-ins with those ribs.
I'm going to go
big time match for Jey next week. Big time.
Yeah. Just 2 weeks after he lost the world title in a great matchup. So he's going to have another one. I'm going to go with Asuka for MVP for this show. LVP, Romeo?
Kairi Sane. Not because I think she injured Liv Morgan. She didn't. I don't give her any blame for that. But the celebration after. Oof, have some sportsmanship. My goodness. Uncalled for.
Outrageous.
Very unprofessional.
You're just outrageous. You're gonna start the agenda.
Listen, I didn't say she injured her. I said something completely different. You are celebrating. She got to win. Oh, she hurt herself. But I won though. Yay! What? Get out of here. She should have had a different tone. She'd have been like, well, I won. Not the way I wanted to win. No, she celebrated like she won the Super Bowl. You kidding me? Stop. And I like Kyrie, but stop.
I'm going to go with Goldberg. I think that his aura is gone. His aura is gone, man. He's not the Jack guy. He's not the beast that he used to be. He looked old. He looked small. It just felt auralist a return to it's just an auralist return to Monday Night Raw for him on this one. So yeah, I'm gonna go with him for LVP for the show. Power Driver Finisher says commentary was terrible, mediocre stories, only Seth stuff was the most work put into, and Goldberg versus Gunther is the only thing interesting to me. To each his own.
Power Driver, man, you are always miserable. My goodness.
You gotta catch him on Thursday. You gotta catch him on Thursdays. He's
when he's happier.
He's not miserable. Yeah, that's when he's happier.
Yikes.
And I agree with Davey on match of the night, the main event.
Yes.
Romeo?
Yes. All those run-ins this was where interference was okay. Fine by me. And
it worked.
Is there even a brand split anymore? Stop with this nonsense. Why do we have to have a draft? Why? I could just go over to SmackDown whenever I want, interfere in a match. I could just go over to Raw whenever I want, interfere in a match. They'll hook up a match for me. It doesn't matter.
It's like LA Knight has been on Raw 2 weeks in a row. He's a SmackDown guy, or so they say.
You got Nick Aldis filling in. This guy's taking vacation days. Like, come on, get out of here.
All right, Romeo, we've made it. Oh, moment of the night. What did you give it to?
The Bayley Becky segment. I'll give it to that.
Yeah, I'll give it to them. They did good work. So I will agree. Romeo, let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, when they will see you again.
Romeo Dom, it's all social media. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for the super chats. Appreciate you.
And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat. Patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. The best time to support us over there. $3 a month gets you exclusive content, including our Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega rewatch series. We got episode 1 with Wrestle Kingdom 11. Later on today, we'll be dropping episode 2 over there with the NJPW Dominion 2017 epic rematch between the two. So go over and check that out, as me and Jimmy McElroy are watching every single Okada versus Omega matchup ahead of All In Texas. And we're going to be doing some more stuff. Me and Jay News are talking about rewatching some of Hiroshi Tanahashi's greatest matches ahead of his retirement. So we're going to make this a series over on Patreon of us rewatching some greats from New Japan's past. So go over there and check it out for sure. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I will be back live here on the channel on Thursday at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with AE Ramble with Jimmy Macaram reviewing this week's AEW Dynamite. So join us for that. But for Romeo, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been Rated Raw Review. You're next for the June 16, 2025 edition of Monday Night Raw. We are signing off until next time.